Hello everyone, welcome to the market outlook for the week. Gaurang Shah here from Geojit Financial Services. As I speak to all of you all this Monday morning at around about 10:30, markets are holding ground, of course, over the choppiness and volatility that we've seen for the last couple of days. Before I go any further, let me give you certain levels on Sensex, Nifty, Bank Nifty, Rupee Dollar, and crude oil. Sensex up about 195 points, 76,815 is the level on Sensex. Nifty is up about 35 points, 23,240 is the level on Nifty spot. Bank Nifty up 490 points, 49,023 is the level on Bank Nifty. And on Rupee Dollar equation, a sign of huge relief after a prolonged period of weakness in the rupee against the dollar. We are seeing some strength this morning. 86.48 is the level of rupee against the dollar with a strength of 0.13 paise. And also on the crude oil front, there is a little bit of downtick. Brent is trading at about $80.76 to a barrel, and NYMEX is trading at about $78.03 to a barrel. Expect crude oil to cool off with the announcement of a deal or a truce or peace being reached with release of hostages who are held captive in Gaza. Our sense is that there should be a little bit of more relief in terms of crude oil prices cooling off. And of course, the data points in terms of global demand and supply. So expect crude to cool off a little bit more this week. On rupee dollar equation, expect some more strength into the rupee towards 86.25, 86.30. And primarily because of the event that is going to happen today, late evening India time, swearing in ceremony, and President-elect Mr. Trump assuming the Oval Office and then laying down the policies for the rest of the world. I think there's going to be a lot of eagerness that awaits in terms of what policies he forms. Of course, it's not going to be this evening. I think from tomorrow onwards, you will see more expectation of policies unfolding from the US new president, Mr. Donald Trump, and assuming that he's not going to put too much of negativity into world economy and equity markets by tariffs, etc. And of course, in terms of tax cuts in the US, one will have to just wait and watch what happens over there. In terms of Q3 earnings, whatever we've seen till date, it's good to see that there is no negativity like we saw in second quarter earnings. In fact, on negativity that we saw in second quarter, IndusInd Bank, Kotak Bank, they delivered decent set of numbers. So there is at least some green shoots and sign of positivity on earnings front, given the fact that those who did not do well in second quarter are doing quite well, and those who did well in second quarter are doing much better in the third quarter. So one can, of course, it's a little bit premature to assume, but one can possibly take a cue from this and possibly have a broader outlook in terms of what we can expect from the last and final fourth quarter and what will go into the new financial year. Budget run up, expectation to the budget day run up. I think slowly, steadily it is going to build up. Of course, not that we are very far away from it. Next week, we will see the budget unfold on 1st of Feb. And my sense is that a week after, of course, next week, 1st of Feb, Saturday, we will see the budget unfold. And I think expectations and hopes, there is a lot of noise on the street in terms of consumption push, and for that individual tax level relook by the Honorable Finance Minister, giving relief to the common man on the street, etc., etc. And of course, focus on electronic manufacturing sector, infrastructure, power generation, defense. These are some broad sectors, housing. These are some broad sectors which expectation on the street is, at least there is noise on the street which we are hearing that the Honorable Finance Minister is likely to touch upon, and this is a possibly make or break budget. Of course, we hear that every year, but this time around, I think it is more needed with the kind of headwinds that we've been facing locally as well as globally. Nifty range, friends, what we spoke last week holds even this week, 23,000 to 23,200 on the Nifty spot lower side, 23,400, I beg your pardon, 23,400 to 23,500 on the higher side. And of course, result oriented stock specific moves like we saw today. We are seeing Kotak Mahindra Bank holding out quite well, more than 9% uptick on fallback of that number that I just referred to. FII DI activity push pull is still going on. I think the weightage should be towards pushing the market on the higher side rather than pulling the markets on the lower side. And for that, domestic institutions are standing quite tall to face any kind of huge sell off from foreign institutional investors. India VIX is again a concern, friends. We've been highlighting this for the last couple of weeks. Currently, as I speak to you, India VIX is at about 16.60 and there is an uptick of about 5.35%. This is one big contributor to the volatility, and we've been saying this over the last couple of weeks. Unless and until we see a sizable cool off in India VIX towards 13 and below 13 and towards 12.5 and 12, volatility is going to stay elevated. And of course, all reasons are there now, globally and locally. Globally, swearing in ceremony of Mr. Trump and policies, and locally in terms of budget. So more than index, our sense is that we should possibly see stock specific moves on third quarter earnings, and that's where I think the focus is going to be. Every time we interact, we give you themes for investment from a long-term point of view, fundamentally. So there are two themes basically based on what we can expect from budget and the finance minister. Referred to infrastructure and power. So there are two investment ideas, long-term fundamentally. NCC Limited, earlier known as Nagarjuna Construction Company Limited, now it is called NCC Limited. Expect infrastructure push to come through, and expect the order book of NCC to grow to a decent extent. In terms of power generation, one company that we've been positive for a very, very long time is Tata Power. The stock gave you correction on fallback correction. Expect Tata Power to do well on earnings front, and of course with the solar push and EV charging push, and of course conventional power generation capex. Expect these to do well, and of course policies in the budget which will support infrastructure and power sector along with the other two sectors. So NCC Limited and Tata Power are the two investment ideas. Mind you, these are not buy today, sell tomorrow, or 3 months, 6 months kind of investment idea. These are long term. And by long term, the definition is 12, 16, 18 months plus. Staggered investment is always advised in the market when there is a lot of uncertainty. With this, I'll take your leave. Thank you very much for your patience hearing, and I'll see you again next week. Till then, please do take care of yourself. Bye bye.